So I'm not going to do a full walkthrough today. Mr. Bumblebee's enjoying the... Let's see if you can get a good picture of him. Look at how big he is. Anyways, so this... Let's see, go back out bigger. This was an A that the tomatillo was literally bending the bar that was on that side, so I took it out, and now I've got to try to figure out what to do with this tomatillo because it is huge. This Roma's kind of gone crazy. I haven't been out here for 2 weeks because of being sick. We did do like a little bit of a hornworm search a couple days. Today I've already pulled off, I don't know, 10 hornworms. And I'll probably come through tonight with a black light. I don't know what to do with all these plants that I haven't done anything with for a couple weeks. It's just huge. 4 ground cherries and 1 little 6x6 square is too many. I'm thinking maybe 1 in the center. But yeah, everything's kind of just overgrown. This tomatillo never really got trellised ever, but he's doing really good on the ground, and so I'm just gonna let him do its thing. The basil, I'm gonna go through probably today or tomorrow and harvest and dry a lot of basil, and I'm gonna make a basil tea or have a barbecue tomorrow. But like every time I come through here I find more caterpillars. So fabulous. But like that cherry tomato, I don't even know what to do at this point. I'm just tying it up so that it's not in the walkways. Another basil. So the ants have taken over my basil plants, which is fabulous. Doesn't everybody want ants on their basil? So I've got to figure that out. I'm gonna come through and harvest all the flowers. So the purple parts is the flower on that particular basil. Chamomile, and just harvesting it as it blooms and drying it, so I have a stockpile of chamomile tea. This poor plant is, I've pulled off this 1 tomato plant, I think I've pulled 3 giant hornworms. See, got a couple in here. So you can go see, that's what a hornworm looks like when they're mature and getting ready to go into their cocoons. This one I've kind of just tied it up, but they get so heavy. If you can see it bows the crossbar, and I don't know what to do with it other than just try to keep tying it up. But so the bumblebees, this is a normal zoom. Look how big he is. I mean, he's 3 times as big as the flower on these things. The ground cherries. This plot is baffling to me. The tomatillo is doing fabulous, but nothing, and the basil, but nothing else is. Then this plot, the sunflower came up fine. I planted those just before I got sick. I went through and planted the center, and that sunflower is doing the best of all of them. But all these plants are just small, except for that basil. It's a pretty decent sized basil. I've not harvested very much off of that one, so that's why it's not as bushy. But like that tomatillo, like the leaves are even just smaller than all the other ones. I just pruned this cherry tomato, trying to not have it go crazy like the other ones, but I just don't understand why this plot just isn't doing very well. I think the ants have made an anthill underneath that pepper, and I'm pretty sure they're just underneath that whole plot, and that's probably the problem. These were my extremely neglected tomatoes. I've gone through and pruned some of them because I don't want a wall of green. Needs to have some airflow, but yeah, they're doing decent considering I completely neglected them. I just harvested the last 2 onions. They're starting to get soft, so I'm gonna have to use those like now. I think just with all the rain. But yeah, the tomatoes are doing decent. The peppers are starting to produce some flowers. I mean, obviously there's some that didn't make it, but it is what it is. I'm going to be transplanting all these beans. Probably just gonna do three wide on this end. If I have to, I'll go to this one. Beans is just a really quick, easy crop. I've got plenty of time to get a nice harvest out of those. The ones that actually like that whole side that germinated the best, those are all black beans that I harvested from our Oregon house. So I'm excited that those ones actually germinated better than the other ones. But the rest of them are just different bush bean varieties that I had extra seeds of. Just figured I might as well try to get some food. Those grasshoppers. It's a grasshopper. Or, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. There's a million different varieties. Yeah, it's kind of a jungle. John just mowed it for me today. We honestly haven't done anything with the garden in the 2 weeks that I've been sick, so you can see this is a good example of what the hornworms will do. They fully just like eat everything off the plant. But on several places where that's happened, the plant's actually like growing new leaves and everything. Tomatoes are completely so resilient. So I think this one I actually broke off, but the rest of these, like where they've been stripped of leaves, that's hornworms. And a single hornworm will eat this whole entire plant in 2 or 3 days. They grow so fast. I'm pretty sure that the very hungry caterpillar was a hornworm. Something that's really, it's kind of gross, but I thought it was interesting. That's its poop. Like, the hornworm's poop is bigger than some of the bugs. It's kind of ridiculous. Look at these flowers. It's a basil. But the hornworms also like the tomatillos, and that's what's eating those. Doesn't seem to really affect any of the plants, though, because everything that the hornworms eat are very prolific here. So, look at all these ground cherries. Anyways, that's kind of my garden update today.